Welcome back to our course Big Data Analytics and Business Intelligence. Our today's topic of video is testing of BI project. So in the previous video we understand about the various requirements such as a functional and non-functional requirements. So we understand how BI project lifecycle work, and one of the important phase in a BI project lifecycle is requirement gathering and its analysis. So we understand that the requirement is divided into two parts, or it is of two types, mainly functional requirement and non-functional requirement. Now in this video we are focusing on the testing. So if we know about SDLC, then we already aware about the phases involved in SDLC, such as requirement analysis, designing, implementation, testing, and after deployment and maintenance. So these are the phases involved in the SDLC. So one important phase of that SDLC is what? Testing. So testing is very important phase. Once you complete your requirement analysis, then design, after that you have implemented your project, next thing is testing. Now we should know what is testing and why we need to perform testing. What will happen suppose we are not going to perform testing? So everything we should know, what is the importance of testing, so that we'll understand. So very first thing, we understand what is testing. What do you mean by testing? So testing is a simple process. Let's take a simple example. Before discussing the formal definition, I will give a simple example so that you will understand what is a testing. Suppose you are going to purchase a ball pen. Okay, so you are going to purchase a ball pen. So what is your main requirement while purchasing ball pen? That it should able to write in the proper manner. Means I can able to write by using that pen. This is what a basic requirement. So other than this, what are the other requirement for the pen? Pen should be lightweight. Then it should be more attractive. Its design should be nice. So these are the other things are there. But what is the basic thing? Whether it is able to write, means with the help of that pen, can I able to write smoothly or not? This is the main requirement. So this is what a testing. Testing is a process of checking the basic functionality, or you can say that testing is the process of validating a product against the software requirement specified by the user. So this is what a testing. So how can we define testing? Testing is a process of validating a software for requirement specified by user. So my requirement of that ball pen is that I need to write smoothly. So this is what a main requirement. So in order, suppose somebody asks you to test the pen, so what you will do, you will just open that pen and we will just write it down, and suppose it is able to write it, it can able to write smoothly, then we can say that the pen is okay. So this is what a testing. So in case of testing, what we are doing, we are checking the basic functionality, because we already know that in case of SDLC, very first phase is requirement gathering and its analysis. So after requirement gathering and analysis, one document has been prepared, that is called as a SRS, software requirement specification document, where all the requirement that is given by user are listed, and then that SRS document is used for performing a testing. So in testing, what we are doing, we are just checking the functionality, we are just checking the utility of that particular product, whether it satisfies the user requirement or not. Suppose you have developed your project and that it is not going to satisfy the requirement of the user, then it is of no use. That's why testing play very important role. Means once you develop your software, once you complete with your implementation phase, next thing is testing. If you are doing the testing properly, then your product, whatever the software that you have developed, that is of good quality. Suppose your testing is not appropriate, it may be a software product, it may be hardware product. Testing is very important. Testing play very important role, because without testing, suppose you are giving that product to your client, then you may face a lot of issue, because client may ask you that a number of changes in that a number of issues may arise. Suppose you are not doing testing of your project. So in testing, what we are doing, we are just checking whatever the product that is developed, whether it satisfy user requirement or not. This is the main objective of doing the testing. So in case of testing, what we are doing, in case of testing we are writing the test case. So here I have just shown you the test case, sample test case format. So what the test case consists of, and what do you mean by test case? Test case is nothing but it's a statement, or you can say, yeah, it's a sequence of action. Test case is nothing but a sequence of action to test the particular functionality of any product. Test case consists of set of actions to test the functionality of a particular part, and this test case consists of test case ID, test case objective, prerequisite, what are the steps, what is the input data, expected output, actual output, and the status. So for example, we try to understand, this is a test case written for just like encryption. For example, a particular cryptography project is there. So in cryptography project, you know that there are two things are there. One is a encryption and second one is a decryption. So for that purpose, that project is already developed. Now you want to test that whether that project is working as per the requirement of user or not. So for that purpose you are doing the testing. So how to do testing? In order to do testing, you have to prepare a test case report. So that test case consists of set of actions. So very first, test case ID. So here you can assign a test case ID. For example, it is your test case ID 1, that's why you have written TC_1. Then what is the objective of that particular test case? So this is one test case, second, third, fourth, fifth, like that. So what is the objective? Test the Caesar cipher algorithm for encryption. Whether that encryption algorithm works properly or not, I need to check. So this is what my objective. What is the prerequisite? Text field should be enabled. What are the steps? Select the encrypt button, enter the plain text and enter the numeric key and hit submit. So here input data, suppose the text which I want to encrypt is hello and the key length is 3. So expected output is KHOOOR. So this is what a encrypted form, and actually I am getting this, so I can say status is pass. Means in case of a test case, two things are important. One is the expected output and second one is the actual output. Suppose expected output matches with the actual output, then we can say that status is pass. Otherwise here you can see expected output and actual output is not same, that's why status is fail. So in case of testing, what we are doing, we are preparing the test case. And what is a test case? Test case is nothing but a sequence of action to test the particular part or to test the particular functionality of this. So in this test case, you are going to check whether expected output and actual output is same or not. Suppose it is same, that means your test case is pass. Okay, so test case play a very important role in case of testing. So what are the different levels of testing? You understand what is testing, you understand what we are doing in the case of testing, we are writing the test cases. But next thing is, we should know what are the different levels of testing. So there are 4 levels of a testing. Very first is unit testing. So unit testing means what? See, your project is not developed at a whole. Okay, first of all, what you are doing going to do, you will divide your project into number of modules. Module is nothing but a component. Okay, every project is being divided into n number of modules. So parallelly n number of team are there, n number of members are there who is working parallelly on different modules. So for example, particular project is there that is being divided into 5 modules. So in module 1, set of members are working, module 2 and set of members are working. Similarly, for 5 module, different teams are working on that. So very first level of a testing is test the individual component. So in case of unit testing, what you are doing, you are just testing the each and every module. In my project, suppose 5 modules are there, so I will perform testing of every module separately. So that is called as a unit testing. Then integration testing. So integration testing, what I am going to do, I just going to integrate. Suppose because project is divided into 5 modules, so at the last I need to integrate all these modules, but one by one I am just integrating. What I will do, I will integrate module 1 with module 2 and again I will test whether it works properly or not, or any problem creates, whether it will create any kind of problem or not. Suppose integration of one module with another may create some kind of problem, so that we need to test. So during the integration testing, what we are doing, we are just integrating one module with other and we are testing it. Now in the system testing, what we are doing, we are testing the entire system. Testing the entire system is what? In this case, I will integrate all the 5 modules. I will perform integration test, and after that I am going to perform final test. So this is considered as a system test. Test the entire system. And finally the acceptance test. So acceptance test is to be done by the user, because all this unit test, integration test, system test, it is done by the company side. Means whoever will be the developer, that company will do this unit testing, integration testing and system testing. And for acceptance testing, generally it is being done by the user at the developer side. That user is going to check whether its requirement is satisfied or not. So it is going to test the final system. So these are the 4 levels of testing: unit testing, integration testing, system testing and acceptance testing. Then next one is, what are the different types of testing? See, there are various parameters based on which you will divide the testing into different types. So a number of types are there. So here we'll discuss few important types. First, you heard about manual testing and automation testing. So manual testing is done by user manually, by just he or she able to he has to write a test case manually. So this is considered as a manual testing. In case of automation testing, you don't have to write the test cases by your own. Directly you can make use of a tool such as a load runner, windrunner, load runner. These are the traditional automation tools are there nowadays. Selenium is a tool which is used for testing purpose. Okay, so a number of testing tools are available for automation testing. So this is again category where your testing is divided into 2 types, such as manual testing and automation testing. Then performance testing, where you are going to validate the performance of your software with respect to reliability, scalability, stress, and number of things are there. So it is a part of your performance testing. Then security testing, you need to see security play very important role. Nowadays we know that whatever the software that is going to be developed, it should be secure, because whenever you are doing any kind of thing on online platform, so it should be secure. So security testing is also important thing, and it is also type. Then you may heard about black box testing and white box testing. So generally black box testing is done by the tester. So in that case, what will happen, tester didn't have any knowledge of internal structure of your project. Internal structure is not known to this particular tester. So this is considered as black box. Black box means what? Something is hidden from the user. That means that particular tester is not aware about the internal details, internal architecture of that project. So this is considered as a black box testing. Then in case of white box testing, the tester should have internal details. He or she should know the architecture, internal architecture of their project. So this is considered as a white box testing. So I hope you understand what is testing, why you need to do testing, what are the different levels of testing, what are the different types of testing, and the sample test case, how to design a test case. So designing a test case is very important. In that case, you need to consider all the scenario, all the requirement that is being specified by the user. And at the last, we are going to discuss about what are the steps that you need to follow in BI project testing, because here we are focusing on testing, but testing of what? BI project. Because we know that in case of a BI, what is the main objective of a BI? To provide appropriate information for decision making, because every business want to make an appropriate decision, and in order to make an appropriate decision, they require a huge amount of data, good quality information, and that good quality information is being provided by your business intelligence tool. So BI requirement of every business is different. It is going to be vary. So in that case, we should know how to test that BI project. Okay, how to test the BI project, because we know that in case of a BI, mostly we are performing ETL. We are just collecting the data from multiple sources, storing it in a data warehouse. We are transforming the data from data to information. Then we are performing analysis, and finally we are visualizing the data with the help of various types of graphs. So these all things will be happening in the BI project. So here we understand what are the steps involved in a BI project. So very first is check the data at the source. See, in case of any successful BI, what is important? Good quality of data is very important. Suppose you are not getting a good quality of data, then your BI system will not work properly. So very first thing is you have to check the data at the source, because in case of a BI project, the data is being collected from multiple sources. It is not a case that you are going to collect the data from only one source, but you are collecting your data from multiple sources. Then that data is transformed into information. So checking the data is very important. You need to validate or authenticate the sources from where you are collecting the data. Otherwise, suppose your data is of is not good quality, then you may face a issue. Then check the data transformation. In this case, you need to check the source and destination data type should match. Means compatibility issue should not be there. What is the expected requirement? What is the destination requirement? So in that case, one of the example is given that the source and destination data type should match. So in second step in BI project testing is check the data transformation, because it is also important part in BI, that is data is transformed into information. Then check the data loading. That is the third step in BI project testing. Check the data loading. So in that case, what you are doing, into a data warehouse or data mart or anywhere, it is going to be permanently located. So you are loading the data into a data warehouse or data mart. So data mart is a part of your data warehouse. So you need you should take care of this loading process. Data is being loaded into data warehouse as well as the data mart. So there you need to perform check whether it is doing properly or not. This is again important. If you are not loading your data properly, then you will not get good quality information. And finally, BI report testing. Whatever, because main objective of BI is to visualize the data in a appropriate format with the help of various charts and various reports. So whatever the report that is being generated, we need to check it. So this is what a final step in BI project testing. So these are the 4 steps involved in BI project testing. First one is you need to check the data at the source. Then you need to check for data transformation. You have to check for data loading, and finally you need to test the report that is generated by using BI, whether it's generating appropriate result, appropriate report as per the user requirement or not. So I hope you understand what is testing, what are the importance of testing, what does it include, what are the different levels of testing, what are the different types of testing, and finally we discuss what are the steps involved in BI project testing. Thank you.